So I went full time with my freelance business about 3 or 4 years ago. And every year since I've been independent fully, my business has doubled year over year financially. And I cannot tell you how many times I get the question, what is the secret? Like, what are you doing that's so special that's enabling you to scale your business this successfully? What are you hiding from us? Give us the tea. So I'm here to do that. I'm here to tell you the secret to running a successful freelance business. And it's actually really simple, but complex at the same time. My secret is knowing my numbers, knowing my finances, and being able to scale and make decisions appropriately based on data, based on quantitative data. That's the secret. So today in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about my process for getting there, like how I learned how to read my numbers, because if you're new here, I didn't go to business school. I'm like really the first entrepreneur in my family. My grandparents were entrepreneurs, but I didn't really talk to them much about it. And it was kind of like a side hustle for them. It was definitely not online business. So I was clueless. So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about what numbers I actually look at, like what knowing my numbers means and how that influences my business decisions. And I also want to share an incredibly valuable resource with you. They are called Collective, and they are an all-in-one platform for freelancers and entrepreneurs to get everything they need when it comes to taxes, accounting, business entity setup information, any of those financial type questions. They are your service. And I'm going to be honest with you, it has taken me a really long time to partner with a company like this because I know how important finances, taxes, all that kind of stuff is and how scary it is. And I never want to steer you in the wrong direction. I have had several calls with this company. I have seen the results that they have, been able to achieve for some of their clients, including some of my friends that work with them. And I really, really believe in this model and what they're offering. So I'm going to leave a link down below if you want to check them out now. And I'll talk about them a little bit more and like exactly what they do throughout the video as well. Okay, so first, what does knowing my numbers mean? It means looking at a document called a profit and loss statement. This is kind of like my guide that I look at least once per month and really getting a good understanding of where my money's coming from, where it's going, and what the difference is. Like that's the gist of what you need to know when you're first looking at your numbers. I'll give you an example of what a profit and loss statement looks like. Obviously, I'm gonna like blur out some of the numbers, but it's just a simple report and it breaks down all of your different income streams. So we have listed here on mine ad income, which is like partnerships and sponsorships, affiliate income, client work, and then refunds. So that's a negative number. And then we have sales, product sales, digital product sales. What's really cool about a profit and loss statement is, when I look into my Thinkific dashboard, for example, which is where my sales come in through, it gives me a number. It gives me a monthly and annual number, but it doesn't break things down for me. So I don't know which courses are selling the best unless I'm just manually tracking that. So my profit and loss statement actually breaks down these, the specific bundles and sales and digital courses and products and things so that I can say, okay, Social Media Management Accelerator is our top seller, followed by the Social Media Management Toolbox. Okay, so what am I gonna do with that information? Well, I can say those are our priorities or those are the core audiences that we need to talk to, right? If I know Social Media Management Accelerator, Social Media Management Toolbox, like what does that tell me? That tells me that our courses are a go-to place for social media managers. So how can we help them more? Through content, free and paid. Should we create more courses for them? Should we offer some one-on-one services for them? Whatever that might look like. How can we maybe take some of those things that we're only running once a year, like the accelerator? Can we fit in another round? Can we do a third round? Can we make it evergreen so that it's available for people all year round, right? Those are all thoughts that are going to come up when I look at this financial data. Now, it is important, and a lot of you know, if you've been around for a while, that I'm also big on like following your gut, following your intuition. You as the entrepreneur are a big part of this story as well. So this is what we call quantitative data. This is numbers. This is statistics, right? But you need to marry this also with then qualitative data. So what that looks like in the case of the accelerator, we do offboarding interviews with our students. We ask them, what did you think of the program? What were your favorite parts? What were your least favorite parts? What would you like to see more of? Do you have any suggestions or requests for next time? And so we're going to marry that together. If I said, hey, let's make this evergreen, and all of our offboarding interviews said we loved the live element, then maybe that's not the right solution. If everybody in those offboarding surveys said that the price point was like, so good, which a lot of our students do say, they're like, wow, I can't believe all this was included, then maybe that tells us we can raise the price a little bit and just pull the lever on that number a little bit more, right? So there's a lot of different things that you can look at from that. You can also look at, okay, one of these courses only had, a very small number in sales. Like, do we need that? Do we need that there to confuse people? Maybe we remove that and we just offer that as like a bonus, Scrolling down, we'll see our expenses, and I'll start to be able to look at what I'm paying my contractors, what I'm paying myself, and how that kind of lines up with the profit, with the money that's coming in. Because sometimes what happens in our business is we see these really big numbers and get really excited by them. Okay, I had a 6-figure launch, a 7-figure launch, whatever. You see that all the time on the internet. But that's only telling part of the story. I don't know how many employees they had to help them pull that off and how much money they were paying them. I don't know how much money they were spending in ads, like Facebook ads or Instagram ads, to drive those sales. So you have to see that other piece. You have to look at the expenses to be able to get a true determination of what is profitable for you. But I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, where do I get this profit and loss? What is this? I don't know how to read this. This is really where a service like Collective comes in. Having tax professionals, accounting professionals, bookkeepers, they're really the ones who taught me, at least, how to look at this stuff. I had access to these tools before when I was just using QuickBooks on my own, but I didn't know how to read it. No one ever taught me how to do that. Nobody ever taught me what that meant. So having a good financial team, if you are not super savvy with numbers and all that, if you are, sure, maybe you don't need this, whatever, but having a good financial team is the best investment. I would recommend investing in this before you invest in like a business coach, a marketing coach, anything like that. That's just my opinion. I think that talking to people who know what they're talking about when it comes to finances has helped my business more than anything else. So breaking down all of these costs is pretty wild to look at. I pay for my payroll service. I use a tool called Gusto, which I like, but it's a separate thing. It's very fragmented from everything else. That's $40 a month. I pay for QuickBooks, which is what gets me this profit and loss report and helps me do my bookkeeping. That's $30 a month. My bookkeeper, the actual person that I work with or the company I work with, I pay about $600 a month. It was less last year because I made less money last year. So they charge on like a scale or whatever. And I pay a CPA, which is about $4,500 a year or about $375 a month. So I'm not even going to do all that math. That's $1,000. Yeah, it's like $1,000 a month just in my financial team, my financial services. I'm going to blow your mind here. I had to read this number like many times to make sure I was getting this right. Collective, this all-in-one platform, they charge $269 a month with no setup fees to get access to these services for taxes, accounting, bookkeeping, compliance, business formation, all of that stuff. It is tax deductible, to work with them, and it pays for itself within months. I mean, I would say for me, it pays for itself within 1 month. Easily. And like I said, you're going to really be able to get the most out of your business by working with a team like this. Highly recommend working with them if you are in an eligible state. Now, here's the one downfall for me about Collective is they're only available in a handful of states right now. So I'll put those ones up on the screen, link down below if you want to go ahead and fill out a form and learn more to see if they're going to be a good fit for you. Now, if you're not in one of those states that they're currently available in, I don't know exactly how they're doing it on the back end, but I would assume they're checking those and, using that information to help them decide which states to expand to next. So I'd probably still fill out that form. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on really quick and share this amazing resource with you. Thank you again to Collective for partnering on this video, and also just talk a little bit about what knowing your numbers actually means. If you have more questions about like profit and loss or how to make decisions in your business based on data, let me know if you want to go a little bit deeper, but that's just kind of the high level, like the one document I at least recommend looking at, ASAP. Look at your profit and loss, look at where you're making money, look at where you're spending money, and see where you can close that gap. If you are spending 35 hours a week doing client work when it only represents 5% of your revenue, maybe it's time to stop doing that, and so on and so forth. So anyway, I hope this was a helpful intro to some of this stuff. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And you can also reach out to Collective again through that link. They have an amazing team. They're so helpful. They're so nice. So definitely recommend reaching out to them as well. All right, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And please do leave me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to this channel for more information on freelancing, social media management, and content creation. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.